Hello, you lovely listeners. I'm Amy. Welcome to the Really Good Conversations podcast, where we will delve into the minds of the business people we have met in the process of launching our first card game. We will be uncovering their secrets to success, their biggest mistakes, and sharing the key lessons they have picked up en route. So, if you're looking for an engaging chinwag mixed with business insights and a good pinch of fun, you're in the right place. Let's have a really good conversation. Welcome to the Really Good Conversations podcast. Today I am joined by Georgie Davies, founder of Yogipod, which launched in 2018, a yoga and lifestyle brand with handmade products designed to help you find calm. Welcome to the podcast, Georgie.
Hi, Amy. It's lovely to be here today.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell our listeners a bit more about Yogipod.
So Yogipod is, as you said, the place to kind of try and help you find your calm. It's primarily a yoga and lifestyle brand. We specialize in yoga props, things to help you relax, things to help you find space within your body, to find ease in your practice. So we're kind of the squishier side of the yoga world. So our bolsters, meditation cushions, eye pillows, all the good stuff to help you stop. We're hand block printed. So all of the fabric comes from India. It is hand block printed there. And I then hand make everything myself. And because we've kind of gone down that route of things being both kind of practical and gorgeous to look at, there is the sort of homeware side of it, just to kind of help bring that idea of sort of home practice, creating a sanctuary that is yours and is the way that helps you to kind of unwind. I'm a yoga teacher as well. So I've got those two strings to the business. But primarily it's about just giving you the permission, giving you the tools to find out what your practice is that helps you slow down, helps you to stop.
Brilliant. I definitely feel like I could do with a bit of that in my life, for sure. Now, obviously, though, you weren't always in the yoga space, and you were in the fashion industry for years prior to starting this business. So what inspired you to transition out of the fashion world and start your own company?
Well, I think my story will be familiar to anyone else that stepped out of a certain industry and into the yoga and wellness space, is most of us have come to the practice because we've needed it. And then most of us have stepped out of the place that we were in order to move into teaching or working in sort of industries that are alongside that sort of wellness sphere. Normally due to a place of just sort of burnout, lack of enjoyment as to where you were, and a need to escape. And mine definitely was that story. Yoga itself was a physical practice I came to years and years ago through a knee condition that I have, and then through kind of the stress of uni. I mean, doing a fashion degree is beyond stressful. I kind of noticed that it had all the other benefits, so all of the mental health benefits, the relaxation benefits, and that's when the practice kind of stuck. And I did my yoga teacher training like most people, with zero intention of teaching, and I did that while I was still working within the fashion industry, but then began to kind of get to a period of just, I was probably almost burnout. I never actually hit the full wall, but there were various things that happened in the last place that I was working in that was just like, you know what, I need to step out for a bit. And it always was for a bit. And I still say, even though it was 2017 that I left, that there's never say never about going back. But I had to make some changes. I wasn't the person that I wanted to be around the people that I loved. And I had to make some changes that meant that I could show up for them and for myself in a much healthier, kind of more managed way, which I think we've all kind of been there with periods of our life when it's super stressful, that you realize you're no longer the person you thought you might be. Yes. Stepped out and then decided after a period of traveling to give yoga teaching a go, and knew I wanted to keep the creative bit of my brain busy as well, so decided to do the both.
Wonderful. And I think having that opportunity, like you said, to just take a step out, you touched on traveling there. And I certainly am a big advocate for that, having that total change of scenery, the change from the norm to actually do something new or think about something. So I imagine, yeah, that was very inspiring. And where was it that you were on your travels during that time?
Yes, I mean, I 100% agree. And I know it's a real privilege to be able to do that. And I was at a place where both financially and lack of responsibility, I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have kids. I could totally step away from life. So I went to India, Malaysia, spent some time in Australia because I've got friends over there who, again, while working, I'd never managed to get out to see. Then a bit of Indonesia and stuff as well. So traveled around for sort of 3-4 months. It gave me the headspace traveling by myself, no responsibility of anyone else, to kind of really reset what I thought I wanted, what I realized once I'd got it, maybe it wasn't what I wanted, or maybe I'd just got to the point where I'd done it, because I absolutely adored my time in the fashion industry. I've got no shade on what I did. It's a cyclical world. I was in luxury fashion. You're season after season after season. As soon as you finish one show, literally I would be on the train the next morning to Paris looking at fabrics for the season that was coming next. So there's never any time to stop. And I think for me, it was a case of I can't do this forever. So let's maybe, while I've still got some sort of energy in me, step into something else.
Oh, and it's courageous to have that recognition and to start something new. Tell us a little bit about block printing, because I think for some novices, shall we say, or some consumers, people might see fabrics or prints and such in a shop and you think, oh, that's nice, that's pretty, and perhaps don't really give another thought of how it's actually being created. And is it, might be the assumption for a lot of people, well, it's just done on a computer, yada, yada, yada. But obviously block printing and your fabrics is really quite special.
Yeah, so all of our fabrics are hand printed. So they are hand block printed just outside Jaipur in Rajasthan in India. And so, from a traditional form of printing, if we take digital printing away from it, any printing that's been done where a human has been involved, you've had to in some way create the stencil or the mark making utility in order to make it. So with screen printing, you're creating a resist on the screen in order to screen print it, which is how lots of t-shirts, etc. are done. And then things like block printing, our patterns are initially hand carved into wooden blocks, normally mango or rosewood. And then it's those kind of repeat patterns that are then hand printed across the fabric.
Wow, that's amazing. And you actually said you hand make the products all yourself. Why has that been an important element of the business, to actually make them yourself rather than, source the fabrics and the other elements and then just get, whether it's a factory or some manufacturer to make them for you?
So firstly, it was from a point of view of keeping the business as lean as possible. It's a skill I have, so it was something I could do. You're obviously then dropping a certain amount of the costs for manufacturing of the product. I love sewing. Again, that's a sort of mindful activity for me. I quite like it when I have a sewing day. I stick my headphones in, I listen to a load of podcasts. I can't really be doing anything else. So it's quite a nice way of switching the old brain off. But also, for me, the fact that I only hold stock primarily in fabric means I'm minimizing the amount of dead stock at product level. So it means I'm only restocking what is actually selling, which doesn't matter how much merchandising analysis you do, you can never quite guess what the general public are after. So if you have a couple of months where one particular print or product isn't selling, I can be holding really minimal stock in that particular product and then be shifting the fabric usage into something else if it's selling better. So from a sustainability point of view, it means I'm able to keep the business quite nimble, quite lean, and minimize the amount of stock that I'm holding.
That sounds a very clever idea, a way around it. You do the yoga teaching as well as the actual product creation. So how do you manage your time between the two? Do you have like set days that you teach on and then days that you can work on the product side of the business?
I wish it worked that well. It's a constant diary juggle. So to make a living full time as a yoga teacher is very, very hard, just from a point of view of sort of effort, energy. It's not the best paid job in the world. So it's a case of sort of juggling it all. I teach a variety of different things. So I teach online, I teach in studios, I teach in community centres, I teach in businesses, teach one-to-one. So every week will look different depending on what I've got scheduled in for that week, whether it's because I've got some things that run monthly, some that run weekly, all the rest of it. So it's a constant diary juggle. But show me a small business owner that isn't in a constant state of juggle, whether you've got one income stream or six.
Yeah, lots of spinning plates.
Lots of spinning plates. And yeah, it's just a very, very organized Google Calendar is the only way I can do it. And if I haven't put you in my calendar, then there is a high chance that I've totally forgotten it's happening.
Yep, I can resonate with that as well. And then when sometimes you think you've put it in the calendar and it gets to the day before and you suddenly realise, I didn't send the person the meeting invite. Is this still happening?
100%. Any one-to-one client that's listening will know I occasionally am literally sending the Zoom link 3 minutes before they're supposed to be meeting me if I'm in an online class. Because I'm like, oh God, I've not done that bit of admin. But yeah, it's a constant juggle, but it's a really lovely one. And I love being able to take that side of my brain as well, kind of that thing of taking yoga to people, regardless of, and every single way you teach is different. You meet people in a different way. It's a different group of people. It's a different clientele. And that's really, really lovely.
Yeah, and I think what's really nice in your world is the products you are creating is you are using them as well firsthand with your clients and your customers at the yoga sessions. So again, you can continue to get that feedback from customers, adapt, tweak, see, as you said, how people are using them as well. So it's really nice that you've got those two sides of the business.
Yeah, and I've obviously then also got the connections within other friends that are yoga teachers or colleagues or whatever. Like I'm very much in that world, so I hear what people are after, I see what people are using, how they're using it, and that's really lovely.
Yeah. And as I introduced you, we highlighted that a lot of your products are designed to help people find calm, but do you stay calm yourself as someone in the yoga space? I said you are a teacher, you create a product, so you also have that, the small business owner label. How do you stay calm in all of this?
I mean, not in the slightest. I'm as manic as everybody else. I mean, as yoga teachers, if you ever get a group of us together, we often laugh about the fact that we all know the tools, but we're just as bad as all the rest of you at putting them into action. Practices come and go. They really do. And there'll be a month where, I am getting on my mat every day or every other day and I'm feeling super grounded in it. But then life gets really busy and you fall out of that habit, or things change and you're not getting to the normal class you would do, or your self-practice you're just not that into. And that's totally fine. Like I always say to people, like, it's not another stick to beat yourself with. Like, it's okay if you have periods where you are frantic, because that is just life. And modern life is what it is. And I don't think we can change the entire system unless we're going to overhaul capitalism and, change the entire way we're living. Is like life gets busy and things fall by the wayside. But if you've got those tools that you can come back round to, then that's the point in it. It's not about it constantly being there for me, and it's definitely not constantly being there, and it also changes. Like sometimes for me it's getting outside, it's being in the garden, other times it's being on my yoga mat, or it's having a meditation practice, sometimes it's going to the gym, sometimes it's just actually making the time to go to the pub with friends, because that also resets you, it gets you out of your head. And I think that's okay. Like for me, it's about finding what is working at that particular point that's the antidote to whatever stress you might be in.
Well, that is refreshing to hear, because I think us novices look to, when we do chat to or meet yoga teachers, or if you're in a yoga class, and I often think, oh, they're so amazing, they've got just such a positive, calm energy. So it's refreshing to hear that, just like the rest of us.
Don't put us on a pedestal, because also obviously it's not a performance when we go and teach, but you are in a client facing role. So if I've had a really crappy morning, I'm not going to show up and have that energy to welcome all of you lot into a class. Like that's not my thing to bring into the room. I'm there to regulate your energy. You're not there to take mine. So like, it's, yes, we might have that very calm, serene demeanor, but we're definitely paddling frantically under the water like everybody else. And it doesn't mean we're not being authentic with how we're showing up, but also you don't need my stress added on top of whatever stress you're bringing into the room on that day. So I'm very unlikely, and most yoga teachers are very unlikely, to bring their own stuff in because
Yeah.
that's not we're not there for that.
No, but that is a skill in itself, I think, that self-awareness to leave it at the door, because obviously in other perhaps working environments that you may be with colleagues or someone else, we've probably all been there, sat in meetings, and someone is in a bad mood and they've brought it into that forum as well. So yeah, that in itself is a good, mindful practice that you guys obviously have. From your background, you've got a lot of experience and transferable skills from your years in the fashion industry as well as your teaching practices and such. But what has been some of the things you didn't expect on this journey since starting Yogipod?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, you get thrown curveballs all the time. Yeah, for me, it was always like the lack of time has always been a huge thing. That's a huge challenge. It's a huge curveball when you're kind of suddenly like, oh no, that week has disappeared again without that thing being done. I mean,
Yeah,
literally just before we started recording, I had a lovely email from HMRC being like, get ahead on your tax return. Every year, I think I might do, and every year I do not. I have a thing where I will always do it pre-Christmas. I never want to have it hanging over me over Christmas, but it will always be done like literally the day before I want to break up
yeah,
for then. So I think for me, it's those things the little admin-y things that just mount up. That's always a
yeah,
challenge. Um, the the things that take the time that you don't realize. Um, yeah, my skills have always much more been in product development, in logistics, all of that kind of thing. So learning marketing, PR, SEO, website management, all of that kind of thing is always a curveball. It always throws something at you. You have to dip back into Google and find out why something is doing that or why somebody's asking that question. But for me, that's also part of the joy of being a small business owner. Like, it's quite nice not always having the answers, that you've got to go and figure something out. It might just be my brain. I'm curious. I like to know why things are happening.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think there's some kind of a beauty in that as well.
Yeah, and you're slowly adding more and more skills to your. I mean, I often joke to Alex, I'm like, well, I think we would now be unemployable if we
Mm,
were to go and get jobs elsewhere, because you think, what role would I be applying for? Because actually, we do all of these things across
yeah.
all of these different areas now that one single job description would not cover.
Oh yeah, like the myriad of different things that are on a small business owner's to-do list of just sort of veering from one end to the next of various techniques that you might need to use or various ways that you might have to try and do something. Like, it's mad the amount of things we have to be holding constantly in the back of your brain to kind of keep
Yeah.
an eye on or try and sort out.
Yes. And along the journey, has there been any particular business organisations or business communities that you've been part of for building some more of this self-development and knowledge in the business world?
Yeah, so for me, a lot of it is about connecting with other people that are in the same sort of worlds. So I love doing events where you happen to be around other small business owners and you can
Mm.
just share. Like, I've just come off the back of doing the Happy Place Festival and just chatting to other people that are in the same boat. And it might mean that you all go, has your sales been really crap this month? Or has it been really good or whatever? But it's just like a sounding board. Or like, have you tried doing this and how did that work out? And I think I'm a big believer in collaboration over competition all the time, because
Yeah.
we're so much stronger if we chat things through with each other. And if you're thinking about doing an event or you're thinking about doing something else and you go, oh, I'll ask so and so because they did it last year. How did it go for them? So yeah, that's something that's always really helped me. And in the same kind of world, on the yoga teaching side, I've been a member of the Yoga Teachers Union since it founded in the UK, and that's been super, super helpful in the same kind of world, because as a yoga teacher, you're very much working by yourself a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
it can be a very lonely existence where you've got no sounding board as to whether something feels right or feels wrong. It can be quite an unsafe place to work. You're often in buildings by yourself with a group of strangers, often at night. So it's that's been a really amazing organisation to be a part of. Again, that kind of sense of community. And then yeah, from your kind of thing on upskilling, PR Dispatch have been amazing. I've been with them for the last couple of years, and PR was a total world that I did not know. That was not something I'd ever come across bar knowing the people that did it in the places that I
Sure.
worked, but it wasn't anything I was ever involved in. And just kind of having the support of somebody who's an expert in it and has got all the contacts, and all you've got to do is fire off an email telling the story of your business has been game changing for kind of some of the PR I've managed to get for the business. So yeah.
Oh, thanks for sharing some of those insights of your journey in Yogipod. So I'm now going to jump us into some questions from our Really Good Conversations Pack First Edition, and I'll ask you 3 questions. So question number 1. What is the most remote place you have travelled to, and describe it?
Ooh, the most remote place. I'm trying to think the most remote place. I mean, the furthest from home would be Australia, but I was, unless we're talking about, yeah, I was nowhere super remote in there. I mean, a boat off the Barrier Reef, but you're not that far off land. Possibly wandering around some of the wooded areas in Cuba. That was pretty remote. So kind of heading down towards the tobacco plantations. It's probably the most remote I've been, unless we're talking about like a mountaintop somewhere in Scotland, but then you could be anywhere because you're often in the top of a cloud and you're not entirely sure where you might be as you're just being windswept around. So yeah, it'd be one of those 3, I would have thought. Somewhere bobbing around in the ocean, somewhere in a tobacco plantation in Cuba, or a cloud on the top of a hill in Scotland.
Love that. Question number 2. Who do you admire the most out of your family, and why?
Oh, well, I hope none of them listen to this then. I mean, I've been really blessed with pretty incredible family. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably just have to pick both of my parents. I don't know how they've managed to do it, but they've managed to bring up 2 pretty well-rounded kids, and they did it while holding down their own business, which is how I probably got my work ethic, because I definitely was child slave labor in a gardener's world when I was a kid. Went to work with them every single Saturday, every single school holiday, all that kind of fun. But they've also managed to do it and managed to keep a really, really healthy relationship. And I don't know how they've managed to do both of those, because I couldn't both live and work consistently with my partner.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I must say, yeah, we've obviously played this game a lot over the last couple of years. And depending on who's in the room when I get dealt that question, the answer may change.
Yeah.
As well. So you're like, oh, yeah, definitely you. And question number 3. What was your biggest highlight from last year?
Oh, my biggest highlight from last year. Oh, that's a tricky one, because like from a business perspective, you can have the highlights of kind of the big flashy events, or like things getting press, but also like when I get a message from someone just being like, the reason I've kept a consistent meditation practice is because of a cushion I bought from you and it's totally saved my mental health, is also just like the biggest highlight in the world.
Amazing.
Yeah, I kind of like, it's really tricky because it depends where you're putting them, but yeah, probably just having that kind of impact on people, you can't beat.
Absolutely love that. And equally, we love it when we get, just an email from someone sometimes, or a review, and it's like, yeah, if someone's, genuinely enjoying the thing that we have created, or they're getting value out of it. So it really is true when you see all the memes of, the small business owners doing like the happy dance and stuff every time there's a sale.
100%. I always remind people, like, if you've got a small business you love, tell them, because we will be sitting somewhere having an existential crisis about something, and just sometimes getting that message, that photo of it being used, that email that just comes out of the blue going, do you know what, I love this, it can literally change your entire week. Because I don't know about you, but you get in your own head when you work for yourself. Like, there's only you that can answer anything, and so you go round and round and round in circles on things. And sometimes just having that reminder that actually what you're doing is making a difference is the biggest thing.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And the finishing question that I like to ask all of our guests is, if you could ask any person, dead or alive, a question, who would it be and what would you ask them?
So this is really tricky because I mean, I could have some super, super trivial ones, like, but probably the person that's like impacted my life in such a huge way is the author Margaret Atwood. She's incredible. I read her first when I was 15 at school. We did The Handmaid's Tale, which was a bold choice from my A-level English teacher to stick that one on our curriculum in a girls' school with a load of us raging hormones. But I mean, it definitely turned me on to the idea of feminism and the fact we really had to fight for something, and still are. And I'd probably ask her, is she ever terrified by the way she manages to tell the future? Because she's a dystopian writer, but terrifyingly, things she wrote in the 80s and the 90s are hurtling towards becoming true. Wow. And yeah, I mean, I have met her, but I'd love to have a proper sit down chat with her about just the way she views the world, because it's quite incredible.
Wow, that is brilliant. Brilliant question, brilliant person. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today, Georgie. Can you tell our listeners where they can find out more about you, about Yogipod, and connect?
Yep, so we're on Instagram, we're yogi_pod. Website is yogipod.co.uk. Everything is all available there. We've obviously got the products online. All of my class information is online. I've also got a huge blog which is full of small business life, other small business owners' stories, and also all the ways that yoga can help you. And yeah, just drop into my DMs or send me an email. I'm always really, really happy to have a chat.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. You've definitely re-inspired me to get back onto some yoga, because I'm not going to lie, it's been a little while.
It's totally fine.
So you've definitely re-inspired me. I've got a bit of the old yin yoga is what I love. But thank you so much again, and really great chatting.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information on today's guests. And if really good conversations are your thing, hit subscribe and join us next time for more business journeys, insights and banter.